You ever feel like life's just throwing one challenge after another at you? Like no matter what you do, you're always stuck in a cycle of stress, confusion, or just plain frustration. What if there was a way to break free from that? A way to change your life, no matter what you're facing? Let me tell you a secret. There's one thing that has the power to change everything: prayer. It's more than just words you speak to God. It's a gateway to peace, direction, and transformation. In this video, I'm going to show you how talking to God can change your life in ways you never imagined. Stick with me, because what you'll hear might just be the breakthrough you've been looking for. So, you've probably heard about prayer. It's something people talk about, especially in tough times, right? But what if it's not just a ritual or something you do when you're desperate? What if prayer can actually transform the way you live, think, and feel? In today's video, we're diving deep into the power of prayer, how it can change the course of your life, bring you peace, and even solve problems that seem impossible. We're not just going to talk about it in a vague, pray and everything will be okay kind of way. No, we're going to get into the real, raw power of connecting with something bigger than yourself, and how it works to shift your mindset, your emotions, and your world. Think of it this way. Have you ever been stuck in a situation, not knowing what to do next, or feeling like you're drowning in stress and uncertainty? Maybe it's a tough decision, a broken relationship, or a loss you can't make sense of. But what if, in that moment, you had access to a force that could calm your anxiety, give you clarity, and guide you in the right direction? That's what prayer can do for you. Let's break it down. We all face challenges, big, small, and everything in between. It's part of life, and it's easy to feel like we're alone in those struggles, like no one understands or no one can help. And that's when we start to search for answers outside ourselves, whether it's through advice from friends, solutions we read about online, or even just hoping for some kind of sign from the universe. But what if the real answer, the one that could change everything for you, was already within your reach? What if it was just a matter of connecting with God through prayer? See, prayer isn't just about asking for things you want or need. Sure, that's part of it, but it's much deeper than that. Prayer is a conversation, a way to connect with the divine, to open yourself up to guidance and understanding, and to invite peace into your heart. It's about trust, surrender, and knowing that there's more to life than just what we see with our eyes. Now, before you start thinking that this is all just spiritual mumbo-jumbo, let's get practical. Research shows that people who pray regularly experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. They have better coping mechanisms when faced with hardship, and they report feeling more connected to others and to something greater than themselves. One study found that people who prayed had improved emotional regulation, meaning they were able to handle their feelings in a healthier way. They were less likely to get overwhelmed by negative emotions like anger, fear, or sadness. And this wasn't just in religious individuals. Even those who weren't religious but engaged in some form of prayer or mindfulness experienced similar benefits. So let's get real for a second. Prayer is more than just a spiritual practice. It's a mental health tool. Let's say you're going through something difficult. Maybe it's a job loss, a family conflict, or maybe you just feel stuck in your life. It's easy to spiral into negative thoughts, to feel like things are never going to get better. But when you take a moment to pray, it helps you refocus. Instead of staying trapped in your own head, you're surrendering your worries to God. You're asking for help, guidance, and strength. You're choosing to release the burden and trust that there's a plan for you, even if you don't know what it is yet. When you pray, it's not about saying the right words or following a formula. It's about being real with God. You don't need fancy language or a perfect prayer. You just need to speak from the heart. Talk about what's on your mind, ask for help, and express gratitude. Simple as that. The power of prayer comes from the connection you make, not from the words you say. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The more you pray, the more you'll start to see changes in your life. It's like a ripple effect. You begin to notice small shifts in how you react to things. Maybe you don't get as stressed out over little things anymore. Or you start making better decisions because you've gained clarity. You might even find yourself feeling more at peace, even in the middle of chaos. That's the power of prayer. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger your connection becomes. And before you know it, prayer becomes a natural part of your life. It's not something you do just when you're in crisis. It's something that strengthens you every single day. There's a famous saying, you don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. That first step is prayer. It doesn't matter how big or small your problem is. Prayer is a step toward clarity, peace, and guidance. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but how do I actually start praying in a way that makes a difference? Well, let's talk about that. Starting a prayer practice doesn't require a lot of effort. You don't need to go to church or memorize a specific prayer. You just need to get quiet. Find a space where you feel comfortable and begin speaking to God. Be honest. Share your struggles, your hopes, your dreams. Ask for wisdom or guidance. And importantly, listen. Prayer isn't just about talking. It's about creating a space to hear God's voice. Sometimes that voice comes through a thought, a feeling, or even something someone says, but you'll never hear it if you don't take the time to listen. And here's the thing. Don't get discouraged if you don't feel an instant change. The more you pray, the more you'll begin to feel its effects. It's like planting a seed. At first, you don't see the roots growing. But over time, that seed grows into something beautiful. But here's the catch. Prayer isn't a magic trick. It doesn't solve every problem instantly, and it doesn't always give you exactly what you expect. Sometimes the answer is a lesson, or it's a shift in your perspective. Sometimes it's about trusting the process, even when you can't see the end result. But that's part of the power. Learning to trust God's timing and plan for your life. Let's take a quick pause and look at a real-life example. There's a woman named Sarah who had been struggling with a difficult relationship for years. She prayed for clarity, for guidance, and for strength. But what she didn't expect was for her prayer to shift her own mindset. Instead of constantly blaming the other person, she started to see things from a different perspective. She realized that she needed to make changes in herself before anything else could change. That prayer didn't give her an easy solution, but it gave her the courage to act, and in the end, it led to a healthier relationship. That's the kind of transformation prayer can bring. It's not about instant fixes. It's about creating space for growth, peace, and clarity. So to sum it up, prayer is powerful. It's not just something you do when you're in a crisis. It's a tool you can use every day to change the way you think, feel, and live. It's about connecting with something greater than yourself, asking for guidance and trusting that you're not alone in this world. And over time, it can completely shift your life in ways you never expected. If you're ready to tap into the power of prayer, start small. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to pray. Speak from the heart. Don't worry about getting it right. Just be real and let prayer work its magic. If you're curious about how prayer can transform other areas of your life, be sure to check out our other videos, where we dive deeper into how mindfulness and faith can work together. Don't miss it.